The Middle East, a region where ancient civilizations once flourished, is again at the center of global tension. Two powerful nations stand on opposite sides of a growing conflict. One is a nuclear-armed technological powerhouse. The other is a regional giant with powerful allies and a vast missile arsenal. For decades they fought through shadows, spies, and proxy wars. But now, the conflict between Israel and Iran has moved dangerously close to open war. How did two countries that once had diplomatic relations become sworn enemies? And could this conflict ignite a wider war across the Middle East? This is the story of the Iran-Israel conflict. The beginning, from allies to enemies. Before 1979, Israel and Iran were not enemies. In fact, they were quiet allies. Under Iran's monarchy, led by Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the two countries cooperated economically and militarily. Israel received oil from Iran. Iran received advanced technology and intelligence cooperation. But everything changed in 1979. The Iranian Revolution overthrew the Shah and brought a new Islamic government to power led by Ruhollah Khomeini. The new regime viewed Israel not as an ally, but as an illegitimate state. Iran cut all diplomatic ties and began supporting groups that opposed Israel. From that moment on, the two nations became ideological enemies. The Shadow War. For decades, Iran and Israel avoided direct war. Instead, they fought a shadow war. Iran built a network of allies known as the Axis of Resistance. These included groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza. These groups received Iranian funding, weapons, and training. Israel saw this as a growing existential threat. Meanwhile, Israel carried out covert operations to weaken Iran's power. These operations reportedly included cyber attacks, sabotage, and targeted assassinations of nuclear scientists. At the center of the tension was one issue above all: the nuclear question. Iran insists its nuclear program is for peaceful energy. But Israel and many Western nations believe Iran could develop nuclear weapons. If Iran became a nuclear power, Israel fears it could change the balance of power in the Middle East. For years, international negotiations attempted to limit Iran's nuclear activities. But distrust remained. And tensions kept growing. By the early 2020s, the region was already unstable due to wars in Syria, Gaza, and Lebanon. Then events escalated dramatically. The first direct attacks. For decades the conflict remained indirect. But in 2024, Iran launched its first direct large-scale missile and drone attack against Israel. Hundreds of missiles and drones were launched toward Israeli military targets. Most were intercepted by Israel's defense systems. But the message was clear. The shadow war was becoming a real war. In 2025, tensions escalated further when Israel carried out major airstrikes against Iranian military and nuclear facilities. Iran responded with ballistic missiles and drones targeting Israeli cities. For the first time in history, the two countries were openly exchanging attacks. The 2026 escalation. The conflict intensified again in February 2026. The United States and Israel launched coordinated strikes on Iranian military and nuclear sites. Iran retaliated with missile attacks on Israel and U.S. bases across the region. Cities across the Middle East went on high alert. The conflict also spread through regional allies. Groups like Hezbollah launched rockets into northern Israel. Meanwhile, global energy markets reacted immediately. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important oil routes, became a potential flashpoint. A wider regional war suddenly seemed possible. Why this conflict matters? This war is not just about two countries. It involves global powers, regional alliances, and the future of the Middle East. Israel sees Iran as its greatest security threat. Iran sees Israel as a symbol of Western influence in the region. Both sides believe they are defending their survival. And because both possess advanced weapons and powerful allies, the stakes are incredibly high. A full-scale war could involve multiple countries and disrupt global energy supplies. The uncertain future. Today, the world watches closely. Diplomats call for de-escalation. Military forces prepare for the worst. And millions of civilians live under the shadow of possible war. The Iran-Israel conflict is not just a battle between two nations. It is the result of decades of ideology, geopolitics, and mistrust. And the question remains: will diplomacy stop the conflict? Or is the Middle East heading toward its most dangerous war in decades? Subscribe to History Frontier for more stories that shaped civilization.